For another, I'm hoping we've got lots of contrasting partners talking to you tonight, and now I'm really pleased also to introduce Laurence Cohen from It's a Glorious Day to share with you his experience of working with us. Thank you.
Good evening. I now have some video envy going on. Thanks for that, Steve. My good friend, Richard Branson, he accused me recently of being a pretentious self-publicist. I said, moi, Laurence at itsagloriousday.co.uk. That's Laurence with a U. Former marketing director of Guinness Great Britain. Creator of the Inadvertent Saboteur, ambition's only real enemy, with whom I've managed to help all of my clients grow their business by at least 5%, some of them 30. Hashtag references available after the speech. So I said to Richard, just get lost, will you? I don't care how. You can use a plane, use a train, spaceship, get on a balloon for all I care, Richard. But please just get lost. So, no, of course, seriously, I'm not the former friend of Richard Branson. Hopefully, you won't find me a pretentious self-publicist. I'm here as a proud partner of Milton Keynes College. And the nature of this partnership is to, wait for it, grow the economy of Milton Keynes. So we want to use this very building as the focal point for doing that. The resources of the college, the resources of the students, the resources of my team, which include a neuroscientist, and someone called Professor Malcolm MacDonald from a different educational institution, who's one of the finest marketing brains in the company, and to make all of those resources available to you all in this very building in order to grow this city of knowledge workers. And the means by which we'll do that is by removing the effect of the inadvertent saboteur from your everyday dealings. The inadvertent saboteur, if we could just have the next slide, please, Jessica. He looks a bit like this. He's also standing over there, right behind you, the big yellow banner. He's like the voice in your head that protects you from new things. How many of you, let's just get a show of hands. Firstly, let me just see that you can show hands. Could everybody just put a hand up, please? Any hand. Great stuff, it works. So please, all of you who are answerable to a voice in your head, put your hands up. Whoa. That's never happened before. What normally happens is nobody puts their hand up, and then I say, did you hear it? Did you hear that voice in your head that told you not to put your hand up? And everybody goes, oh my God, it's there. Now, this voice in your head, as I say, it is there to protect you, which is okay when you're inside what I call business as usual mode. But it's not necessarily so helpful when you're trying to grow your business. If you're not aware of that voice, then it can stop you from growing your business. And all the things which are strengths inside your business as usual mode, like, I know there's lots of professional services people here tonight. Hands up if you're a professional services person, please. Okay, good. Now, all of you are fiercely analytical. You have to prove that things are right in order to do your job properly. But when you're trying to grow, if you apply that fierce analytical capability to growing, you'll probably put the dampers on the growth pretty quickly. So you have to become aware of these things, which are great for business as usual, but unhelpful for growth. And I guess pre-recession, that wasn't a problem because you just showed up to work and the business grew. But nowadays, growth doesn't grow on trees, and you have to be aware of the mode to promote growth. So we're going to begin by applying this methodology to the senior leadership team of this very college, and the kind of things which I'll be doing with them, and hopefully with some of you afterwards. We'll be going through this guy and just talking about some of the things that he does, so that you become aware of those things, so that when you're manifesting those behaviours, you're aware if it's you that's talking at that point or your saboteur. So any guesses as to what the teddy bear means? There's a little teddy bear there on his shoulder, you see that? Any guesses what that's for? Just shout out.
A child. Comfort zone?
Yeah. So it's basically, it's that need that we all have for something to comfort us in times of trouble. It's also supposed to signify having a toy ready to throw out of your pram, which is a technique used by strong people to block progress, and sometimes they don't even realise they're doing it. You know that feeling when somebody uses their intellect as a weapon to destroy progress, and most of the time they don't even know they're doing it. And I do a lot of work with professional services firms, and that is a big block on progress, and explains to me why it's such a conservative industry. No offence intended. The megaphone, what's that for? Yeah, for shouting over other people in meetings. How many of you have a colleague who does that? Oh, some really enthusiastic shows of hands. Okay, so you know what I'm on about. There's a little vanity mirror there and the word ego. Obviously that signifies the ego, which is there to preserve your self-image and your self-identity. And if you're put under pressure, your ego will come to the fore and defend you, whatever the cost. There's a big pig's head there right on top of his navel. What's that supposed to signify? Yeah, it's literal pig-headedness. Next there's a tiny little thing in like a pickle jar. That's supposed to signify the reptile brain. Now, my neuroscientist tells me there's something in the brain called an amygdala. Hands up if you heard of an amygdala. Okay, I better get my facts right then. Apparently, the amygdala was there to protect us. It's responsible for the fight, flight, or freeze response, which was fine when we were being chased by saber-toothed tigers. But it still exists, and it's either on 0 or it's on 10. And when it's activated by any form of fear, it causes you to fight or to flee or to freeze. And in the workplace, where your life isn't under threat, it constitutes something of an overreaction. So I call that bad chemicals. And if you're not aware of the effect of those bad chemicals, again, it will stop you from growing. And finally, there's a little kind of two-headed thing going on. Any classical scholars in the room? Yes. Janus, who's two-headed or two-faced? And you know, it's that feeling you get when somebody promises you they'll do something, and they go away, and they come back and they haven't done it. And it's probably not because they set out to deliberately not do the thing that you ask them to do, but it happens nevertheless. And the only explanation for it, until you realise this phenomenon called inadvertent sabotage, is that either they're unreliable, untrustworthy, or stupid. But the minute you become aware of this phenomenon, it's possible to deal with it. So, that's the inadvertent saboteur. We are proposing to use him as part of a process. Firstly, as I say, with the senior leadership team of this college. And secondly, I hope, with as many of you as possible. The more the better. We want this to be about collaboration. We're proposing a couple of dates in January when you'll be able to come to this building, and we'll explain the process in more detail and see if you're up for joining in. No commitment whatsoever required to come along to those sessions. The process, just briefly, is a 6-stage process. It begins with something called an organisational power audit. Organisational power is, in my humble opinion, the thing that distinguishes the great companies from the mediocre companies. It's when you can line up all your people behind the delivery of your strategy. And the minute that you tap into that power, anything is possible. However, most companies spend their entire existence, and they can still be quite successful, never getting anywhere near it. And the reason for that is they haven't dealt with this phenomenon of inadvertent sabotage. So there's another 5 steps to it, which will take you through, if you can make the dates. We're proposing the 15th of January and the 29th of January. My colleague Spence will be over there standing next to his alter ego, the Inadvertent Saboteur, the big yellow banner, and he'll have some handouts later, if hopefully you're interested. So that's it from me. Thanks again very much to the college, to Jane and Nick especially, for having me as a partner. I look forward to working with as many of you as possible, and as I say, to helping us all grow this city of knowledge workers. Thank you very much.